My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode. I am fired up today. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just made over a $3,000 profit from flipping boxes of Panini Prizm Basketball first off the line in 24 hours. In 24 hours since the Prizm first off the line basketball went on sale, I've already made over a $3,000 profit flipping boxes. I have got a lot to say about how I did that, and also the first off the line release in general, how Panini handled it with their modified Dutch auction format. I've got a lot of thoughts on that, and I'm going to go right into it because I got a lot I want to share in this episode because Monday was crazy. So obviously Monday was Cyber Monday. And for those of you who don't know, Panini chose Monday, they chose Cyber Monday to release on their website Prizm Basketball first off the line for 2019-2020. And as you can imagine, Prizm Basketball this year is absolutely crazy. For those of you who have been following it on people on Twitter, people on Instagram, literally Walmart stores and Target stores across the country are sold out of this stuff. People are going into Walmart stores and Target stores, and the second they stock the shelves with Panini Prizm Basketball, they're buying the entire allotment. I've seen photos on Twitter and Instagram. People are literally taking the cases that these boxes come in, the shelf displays. They're taking them to the register, stacks of the shelf displays that are filled with boxes. They're taking them to the register and just buying out the entire inventory. The hysteria over Prizm Basketball this year is real. We knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because you've got Zion this year. You've got, a rookie class that's actually doing really well, even in the absence of Zion. You've got a lot of other guys in that class that are performing well. So there's a lot of interest and excitement about this year's rookie class, in addition to the fact that basketball cards in general are the absolute hottest thing going right now. There's tons of investors, tons of flippers that have jumped into the market. Basketball is super hot, and so it comes as no surprise that the Prizm release, which is really the kind of preeminent release of basketball cards each year, it's the one that people really want to collect. Not the most valuable, obviously. If you're going for key cards, you're going to go for a higher end product like a National Treasures or an Immaculate when that stuff comes out next year. But in terms of just being able to flip cards, in terms of being able to, buy a good assortment of cards and pull out some serial numbered cards and see some potential multiple on whatever you bought your boxes for, Prizm is the product that people love to buy, that people love to chase. It came out in retail about a week ago, a little bit over a week ago, and it has been selling out like crazy at stores. And so yesterday, or rather Monday, when Panini released their first off the line Prizm Basketball on their website, as you can imagine, it was hysteria. And I was on the website, as were a ton of people on my Discord chat server. And actually Monday was so fun because as they released the product, I sat in the basketball chat on my Discord chat server, and there were at least 50 other sports card collectors and investors that were live in the chat at that moment. And we were all on Panini's website, and we were all talking about the first off the line, what it was going to sell for, when you should get in and bid for it. And actually, we shared a lot of really good information that helped all of us. All of us benefited from what each other shared, and it helped make all of us make smarter investing decisions in what we should buy the first off the line boxes at, which in turn resulted in the fact that I've already made a $3,000 profit so far and counting. So I've got to credit the guys on my Discord chat server. And if you are not part of the Discord chat server, it is free to join. You want to join because next time there's a first off the line release or any type of major product release, my Discord chat server is where the intelligence is being talked about. And you can get to my Discord chat server by going to sportscardinvestor.com and clicking on Discord chat in the main menu bar. And I would really encourage you, next time a new product is coming out of First Off the Line, go onto the Discord chat server, because there's going to be a lot of good live conversation going on about the product. But let me tell you how Panini handled the release of this product. So they did what they called a modified Dutch auction format. Now, you may remember about a month ago, a little over a month ago, Topps and StockX paired together for the first time in the history of the hobby to release a product using a Dutch auction format. And I thought it was a brilliant way of releasing a product. They released a product called Bowman Chrome X. It was a special product that Topps produced just for this test release. They did it with StockX. StockX ran the auction, but it was a little different. In some really big ways, it was different than how Panini chose to do it. And when I did an episode shortly after Topps and StockX did the release of that product through the blind Dutch auction format, and I said that the way they released the product could change the way you buy cards forever. It could change the hobby forever. And I said during that episode, I was a big proponent of it. And I even said, Panini, you need to switch to this format for your First Off the Line releases. Here is the clip from that episode about a month ago where I said those exact words. I wish Panini would give this a shot with basketball this year. It would have made so much more sense if they had done it, even if they just did it for their First Off the Line releases. Panini, instead of having your website crash all the time because you can't handle the traffic by trying to sell all of these boxes at one specific point in time, why not open it up for a couple of days for people to bid whatever they're willing to pay for the box? So somebody at Panini, did they listen to me? I don't know if they listened to me. Maybe they saw the show. Maybe they took that to heart, or maybe they had already had a little bit of this in the works. I'm not going to take credit for the fact that Panini switched to a Dutch auction format, but hopefully they listened to me. But what they did was not quite the same as StockX and Topps. And unfortunately, Panini made some changes to the way that it worked that were far less friendly to the average collector and investor. Panini, bad on you. Bad on you, because you successfully on Monday made a large segment of your customer base. In fact, a large segment of some of your most adamant customers, potentially some of your best customers, you made a large segment of your customer base really, really mad. Really mad by the way you handled the Dutch auction. And how this happened was Panini, unlike Topps and StockX, did it where you could bid whatever price you wanted to bid, and they actually gave you a 3-day window to place your bids on what you were willing to buy a box of this product for. And at the end of the 3 days, the top couple thousand bids won the product, but they only made you pay the price of the lowest bid that won. So essentially, they established a cutoff line saying like, okay, everybody who bid this level or above has won the product because their bids were high enough, but everybody only has to pay this lowest level. So whatever the lowest bid was that won, everybody paid that price. So if you had bid, hypothetically, $500 for a box of the Topps Chromex cards when those had come out, or I'm sorry, it was Bowman Chromex, I believe. The lowest bid was $50. The lowest bid that made the cutoff line was $50. So even though you bid $500, you only had to pay $50. So when you left the Topps StockX auction, if you won a box, you had a feeling of satisfaction. Everybody who won a box, every single person, the thousands plus people who won boxes in the Topps StockX auction had a feeling of personal satisfaction because of the fact that you ended up paying no more than your bid. And in most cases, in 90% plus of the cases, you paid less than what you bid. because you bid higher and only had to pay what the last bid was that was accepted. So you paid less than what you bid. So you could have bid $100 and only paid $50. That's going to make you feel good. That's going to make you feel like, oh, I got a deal. I got a bargain. I was willing to pay $100. I only have to pay $50. That's great. It almost feels like you got a little bit of a discount. So everybody walked away from that auction happy. What Panini did with Prizm Basketball first off the line was the exact opposite. They did the exact opposite of that. What they did was they did live bidding, and they started at $1,000 a box for this Panini first off the line Prizm Basketball product, $1,000 per box. And then every couple of minutes, the price dropped. Now, you didn't know how many boxes were released. You didn't know how many boxes were still available, even though some of that information started to get out on the forums, as well as my Discord chat server, which was very helpful to have some of that information from some insiders on my Discord chat server. So it was really good to have some of that type of context, but most people did not know. They did not know how many boxes were out. They did not know how many boxes were remaining. Some people jumped in and paid $1,000, and whatever you bid at, whatever you bought it at, you were locked in at that price, and that's the price you paid. So that's the opposite of what Topps and StockX did. Topps and StockX said you're only going to pay the price of the lowest accepted bid. Panini said you're going to pay whatever price you bid at. What that means is that 90+% of the people who bought Panini first off the line Prizm Basketball walked away feeling ripped off, feeling upset, feeling angry at Panini because of the fact that they paid more than what the product eventually sold out at. Was Panini within their rights to do it that way? Sure. Why did they do it that way? To maximize profit. What happened by them doing it that way? They made 90% of their customers mad. And in a lot of cases, these were customers who are probably very loyal customers of Panini, who buy a lot of product from Panini. And now some of these people are really left holding the bag. If you paid $1,000 for a box, you got completely screwed, because these boxes ended up selling out at $290 a box. They sold out at $290 a box. Can you imagine if you were one of the people who bought the boxes at $1,000? And people did. In fact, I have statistics in this episode I'm going to share with you in a minute as to how many people bought boxes at a high price dollar. People did. People paid $1,000. Some people paid $900. Some people paid $800. A bunch of people paid $400, $500, including me. The first time I bought a set, I actually bought multiple sets of these, but I jumped in at $450. I bought 12 boxes at $450. And as soon as that price got down to like, $350, $325, $300, I started thinking to myself, ooh, shouldn't have jumped in at $450 and bought that box. Now, I thankfully jumped in when I saw the price getting as low as it did. I jumped in and bought another 36 boxes. I bought 36 more boxes at $300. And so I walked away really, really happy. My total average of what I paid was actually really good. And I've already flipped a bunch on eBay for significant profit. That's how I've made over $3,000 so far. And I still have a ton left to sell. So my profit on this is going to be really, really good. But there are people out there who paid $1,000, who paid $800, who paid $700, and those people are not likely to ever get their money back or anywhere close to their money back on eBay. So let me talk a little bit more before we go through the various auction levels and what things actually sold at. Let me tell you a little bit more about the product itself. So this was first off the line Prizm Basketball. Totally different than last year's first off the line Prizm Basketball. And I will say this, whenever you are going to enter into an auction format like this, or really buying anything in general, it always helps you to understand what the product is worth. And with a brand new product release like this was this year, it was a little bit difficult to find comparables as to what the product was really worth. So you had a sense of like, where should I bid on this? Like, what is this actually worth and what the market is going to bring? So I did some analysis before I went into the auction to really try to figure out what I thought the product was worth and what I thought it was worth bidding on this product. So here was the makeup of the box. Here was the makeup of each first off the line box. Only 10 cards. Only 10 cards. It included 3 autographs, and these are shimmer autographs. So they're special autographs that you're not going to find in any other Prizm set. So it included 3 shimmer autographs, 3 shimmer prisms. So again, those are special prisms. Some of them serial numbered, some of them not. But all this special shimmer that you can only get in these first off the line boxes. And then it included 4 silver prisms. The silver prisms are the same that you can find in retail and that you can find in hobby boxes. And as you know, as a basketball card collector or investor, silver prisms command a great price in the market, especially for hot rookies, right? So if you're getting a silver prism of Zion or Ja Morant, you're doing really good and you're excited about that pull of that silver prism. And that's true across any product. So you're guaranteed 4 silver prisms. Now, not necessarily rookies. You know, in fact, most likely not rookies because they have a big checklist. So you could end up with any veteran silver prism, but hopefully you'll get a rookie mixed in there as well. And then 3 of the shimmer prisms, again, not necessarily rookies. They could be any player, but they're going to be relatively valuable cards if you get a rookie. Or if you get a star player, if you get a LeBron or Steph Curry, they're still going to command some value. And then 3 autograph shimmers, which again, not guaranteed to be rookies. Not guaranteed to be rookies. In fact, the autograph checklist, I believe, for first off the line was 100 players. So there's a lot of different players in that checklist you could have gotten. The rookies could be really valuable. A lot of the veterans, maybe not as much unless it's a real star power type of veteran. Of course, someone like LeBron, they don't sign autographs, so their autograph is not going to be in the box. But there are some other veterans that would command some value. But certainly the purpose of the product is everyone's hunting for rookies. Everyone's hunting for Zion. Everybody's hunting for the other big rookies. So that was the makeup of the box. Now, in terms of what that should be worth, you can't compare it. I saw some people trying to compare it to last year's 2018 Prizm Basketball first off the line. You cannot compare it to that because that was a totally different type of release. The Prizm 2018 first off the line, those boxes had a much different configuration. They were more like they were big boxes. They were more like hobby boxes with some extra stuff thrown in. So that was not comparable. If you were going to compare it to a release from last year, I thought the best release to compare it to was 2018 Choice. 2018 Prizm Choice. The Prizm Choice boxes from last year were special boxes that Panini put out. Those boxes contained 1 autograph, 2 Prizm silvers, 3 Prizm blue, yellow, and green, 1 Prizm red, and 1 other Prizm. So they contained a total of 8 cards. Those I thought were most comparable to these first off the line 2019 boxes, which contained 10 cards. Now, the last year's choice boxes are currently being sold on eBay for between $350 and $400. That's what they're actually being sold at. They're being offered for more. But those choice boxes are worth, the market value of last year's choice boxes are currently worth between about $350 and $400. Now, this year's first off the line boxes, if all things were equal, should be a little bit more valuable. Now, I say all things are equal because that means Zion has to become Luka, right? But if this year's rookie class gains the same traction as last year's rookie class, so basically if you're looking at 2 kind of equal level rookie classes in terms of market value, then the first off the line box from 2019 should be more valuable than the choice box from 2018 because you get 3 autographs instead of 1. You get 4 silver prisms instead of 2. So this year's boxes, I figured that the first off the line boxes probably have about somewhere between about $200 to $250 worth of additional market value above what last year's choice boxes were. So if they had released this same exact configuration of first off the line last year, I believe those boxes would currently be selling on eBay. People would actually be buying them on eBay for somewhere between $550 and $700. That is the range that I believe this year's first off the line boxes are probably worth if this year's rookie class becomes as accomplished as last year's rookie class with Luka and Trey. How big of an if is that? Some people would say, oh, that's a huge if because Luka is all world and all time and Hall of Fame and, Trey is amazing. So that's a huge assumption. I don't think it's that much of an assumption simply because of the star power that Zion is going to bring to the game. Honest to God, I would not be surprised if Zion returns to the court and has a good first week or two, looks great, is dunking on people, is scoring 20 plus points. I would not be surprised if Zion's card prices immediately shoot up to rival Luka's card prices. I would not be surprised at that at all. So I think it's actually entirely possible that these first off the line boxes could become worth a market value of between $550 and $700 upon Zion's return, assuming it is a successful return. So based on that premise, I felt like if you could get in on these first off the line boxes at $450 or less, you were getting a reasonable value. So that is why when the price in the auction dropped down to $450, I bought my first case. It was because of that comparison that I did. Now, there's another comparison that you could do, which is not as favorable to the pricing of these choice boxes. The other comparison, or rather these first off the line boxes, the other comparison you could have done was you could have compared it to this year's hobby. So 2019 Prizm Basketball hobby is currently selling for somewhere in the neighborhood of $425 to $450 online. It hasn't come out yet, but people are pre-ordering it, actively pre-ordering it for between $425 and $450. Now, the hobby boxes are a much richer configuration. Those are bigger boxes. They contain two autos. So they actually have one less auto than the first off the line, which contains 3 autos. And since the first off the line autos are shimmer autos, they could be a little bit more valuable than what the hobby boxes autos are. But the hobby boxes contain 6 silvers, whereas the first off the line only contains 4. The hobby boxes contain 10 to 11 non-numbered prisms and 4 to 6 numbered prisms, whereas the first off the line contains only 1 to 2 non-numbered prisms and 1 to 2 numbered prisms. Now, I can make the argument that the numbered prisms and the non-numbered prisms in first off the line are likely to have more value than the ones coming out of hobby, depending on what they are. But the likelihood of you being able to get a potentially really a 1 out of 1 or a 1 out of 25 out of the first off the line boxes, you may have a better shot than you may out of hobby. So, and they're the shimmer cards, which some people really like. So potentially, there's more value in the numbered cards coming and the non-numbered cards coming out of first off the line, but that's still a big difference in what the boxes include. The hobby box still includes a lot more. And of course, the hobby box includes a ton of base cards, which the first off the line boxes include no base cards. So the hobby boxes, and if you get a Zion rookie card base, that's still a very valuable card. Look at what Luka's rookie card bases, from last year have done, or Trey's rookie card bases. Those are still valuable cards. So if you compare first off the line to hobby, then that would tell you that the first off the line should be not worth anywhere close to $425 to $450. Maybe they're worth more, like comparatively to that, maybe they're worth more in the $250 to $300 or so range. So basically, if you look at the comparison to last year's choice, I think you're looking at the potential upside of the box. If everything goes well, I think these boxes are worth $550 to $700. If everything does not go well with this year's rookie class, if Zion comes back and doesn't quite look right or gets injured again, then these boxes may only be worth in the $250 to $300 something range, or potentially even less compared to this year's hobby boxes. So those are a couple different ways of looking at it. But I decided that I was willing to buy a case at $450 because I'm optimistic that upon Zion's return, these boxes will go up into that $550 plus range, and I would be able to flip them for profit. So I bought a case at $450. I bought 12 boxes. It was a 12 box case. I bought that 12 boxes was the maximum order size. So I bought for a single transaction. Now you could go back and buy more, but for a single transaction, 12 boxes was the maximum order size. So I bought 12 boxes at $450. I then sat back and assumed that they were going to sell out soon. I assumed that they were going to sell out right around that $400 to $500 range. I did not think that they were going to get below $400. I thought originally they were probably going to sell out above $500 or $600, and I probably wasn't even going to get a box. That's what I originally thought they were probably going to sell out at because the basketball market is just so hot. So I was actually surprised when they dropped below 600 and then when they dropped below 500. I was surprised. When I got a case at 450, I was pleasantly surprised. But then they continue to drop and they continue to drop and they continue to drop and they continue to drop. And once they got below 350, I said, okay, now is the time to start buying more because I feel like this is going to really present a value. I really do believe that these boxes can be flipped for a lot more than what they're currently selling for. So I bought 3 additional cases. I bought an additional 36 boxes. I got in at I got one at around 315, then I got one at 300, and then I got one at the lowest, I think around 295. They ended at 290. 290 is when they all sold out. So I got about 36 more boxes, somewhere around 300, just slightly above $300. So I ended up with 48 boxes. 12 at 450 and 36 somewhere in the $300 range. I then decided, let me go ahead and put some on eBay and see what happens. So I put them on eBay at $499 a box with a quantity discount that could get down a little bit below that, down to like $480. In 24 hours, I sold 22 boxes in that price range. In 24 hours, I sold 22 boxes. Now, the boxes, what I decided to do was basically take my supply of the boxes that I paid around $300 for, and those are the ones that I'm selling for between $480 and $499. Those are yielding even after, so Panini shipped the product for free. You did have to pay sales tax. So, the product ended up coming out somewhere in the $320 to $330 per box range is what I actually ended up paying. Take the eBay fees off of the $480 to the $490, I'm still making over $100 a box off those. So I was very comfortable making a quick $100 a box plus. And actually, I was able to do a couple of transactions off of eBay as well, where I made even more money. So in total, I've sold 22 boxes so far, and I have made just over $3,000 when you include in the transactions that I did off of eBay and sold a little bit more money and made a little more profit on those transactions. So $3,000 profit in 24 hours since the release of First Off the Line. Plus, I still have another, 26 boxes yet to sell. Now, 12 of those boxes I paid $450 for. So those I cannot afford to sell at $499 on eBay because I won't make any money once you take off the eBay and the PayPal fees. Those are the boxes that I'm going to hold on to. And I'm going to hold on to Zion's return. In fact, probably most of the remaining boxes at this point, I'm going to hold on to. I'm satisfied with the profit I had made thus far. That got a lot of the cash back out that I put into the product. And now I want to hold most of my remaining boxes, and I'm going to watch the market. And upon Zion's return, I'm going to start relisting in hopes that he has a really big return and that these boxes start pushing up to $599 or $699 per box when he's back and when he's hot. And if they do, I'll sell the boxes that I bought at $450 at that price point, as well as the remaining boxes that I bought around $300. I'll sell at that $599 to $699 price point. So in total, I actually think I'm going to make several $1,000s off of these First Off the Line boxes. I was really, when I saw the price of the boxes drop below $350, I was never planning on buying 48 boxes of this product. I was never planning on buying 48 boxes of this product because I never thought the price was going to get as low as it did. But when I saw the price start to go below $350, I said, okay, this can be flipped for profit. I need to go in and buy more boxes. And that's when I went in and bought 36 additional boxes. I waited a little bit below. I waited for it to get, as I said, down to about 315 was when I bought my next set, and then bought a set after that and bought a set after that. But I was really excited about that because I felt like I could flip these for immediate profit, and that was proven true, being able to sell a bunch of them within 24 hours for $480 to $499 a box. Now, let me tell you, I have some statistics here on how quickly these boxes actually sold. These are some stats that I have. So there were about 6,800 boxes to start. Panini made about 6,800 boxes of this First Off the Line release. A couple hundred sold right away. So at the $1,000 level, or just below $1,000, a couple hundred sold. There are a couple hundred people out there who bought, or maybe less who bought a lot of quantity, but there are people out there who paid $1,000 for these boxes. And my gosh, I feel for you today. I really feel for you today. Honestly, I wonder if some of those people thought that the auction was going to work the same way the Topps StockX auction worked, and that they were actually not going to end up having to pay $1,000, but they were going to end up having to pay whatever the lowest bid price was. But man, that was not the case. You paid $1,000 a box, and I feel really bad for you, because even if Zion becomes all world, I don't see these boxes ever hitting $1,000. It would take a lot for these boxes to ever get up to $1,000. I just don't see that happening. So unfortunately, for a couple hundred people, that was rough. But then sales really slowed down. There was only a couple hundred boxes sold. Once it got down to $750, there were still 6,500 boxes left. So only 300 boxes were sold between the start of the auction and the $750 point. Once it got down to $350, there were 4,000 boxes left. So 2,500 boxes were sold between the $750 point and the $350 point. And that's where I was surprised. I thought it would have been more in that range, but only 2,500 were sold. So there were still 400 boxes left at the $350 point. Then it started to go really fast. When it got down to $315, there were 3,000 boxes left. So 1,000 boxes were sold between the $350 point and the $315 point. Then another 1,000 boxes were sold between the $315 point and the $305 point. There were 2,000 boxes left at the $305 point. And then by the time it got down to $290, all boxes had been sold. So the remaining 2,000 boxes were sold between the $305 point and the $290 point. So that's how the auction went. It was a lesson learned for everybody involved, including myself, but some really interesting statistics there. Do I like how this was done? I do like the concept of doing the Dutch auction on first off the line. I really do. I thought in all, this was a much better way of doing it than the way that Panini previously did it, where their website would crash and people with bots would flub the website the moment the boxes went on sale, and they went on sale for some arbitrary price Panini set. I thought this auction format was smarter. However, I really wish that Panini would consider going with the StockX Topps model, where anyone who bid high only had to pay the price point of the lowest bid. That would make it much more consumer friendly, much more collector friendly. It would be much better for the people who are buying the boxes. And I hope that Panini will listen to their customers and listen to me and reconsider that, because in any business, look, I own a bunch of different businesses, and rule number one in business is be customer friendly. Don't intentionally piss your customers off. And if you have a policy within your company that is or a way of transacting business that is just by its very nature going to piss a large portion of your customer base off, that is not customer friendly. That is not how companies really want to operate or should operate. And that is exactly how Panini set up this modified Dutch auction. So I would implore you, Panini, to please reconsider how you're doing the auction next time to be more consumer friendly. But I do love the idea of the auction, the live auction. It was a great experience. And I have to once again say, being on my Discord chat server during the auction, that was a ton of fun. We had a great group. We had great conversation. Guys, you've got to join my Discord chat server. I said it earlier in the show, but man, that is the place to be. It is the live environment to talk about stuff like this with other sports card collectors and sports card investors. And a guy on my Discord chat server said, this feels like a pivotal day, a pivotal moment, a momentous moment in the history of the hobby. And we shared the moment together. And I said, you know what? That is something special. That was really fun to do. And I hope that you can be part of that next time by joining my free Discord chat server by clicking on the link on sportscardinvestor.com. Okay, that is it, guys. I am done with my rants about Panini, first off the line, Prizm Basketball. I hope you got some. And if you got some, I hope you got it at a good price point and that you're able to go make some money, sell on an eBay, make a quick profit like I was able to do. Guys, thanks for watching. And I look forward to seeing you back on Sunday for my next episode.